What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and it is time to smack it down and round up all the latest WWE news, WWE rumors, and just all the latest in pro wrestling. So you know what to do. Climb that top rope and let's dive right into it. We will be talking everything that went down on Smackdown this week, but before that, as always, we gotta start off with some of the latest major reports as we head into WWE Fastlane this Sunday and also WrestleMania, which is just a few weeks away. And there's a bit of an unusual stuff happening with WrestleMania advertisement, as WWE ended up removing Charlotte Flair from the WrestleMania poster. She is obviously one of the top superstars that is expected to be at the show, and WWE even announced that she is going to be starring in the Walking Tall reboot movie, so there's a heavy focus on Charlotte right now. Originally heading into WrestleMania for the advertisement, she was featured in the poster between Edge and Roman Reigns right on the center. This is a great spot for her because WWE didn't even put Asuka in it, even though she is the current Raw Women's Champion. Now, for whatever reason, they ended up removing her. She was removed on it as if she wasn't even there to begin with. You would have thought that WWE would at least put Asuka in there in her place, but no, she didn't get any replacement. She just happened to be removed from it. We don't know the specific reason for it, and this doesn't mean that Charlotte is off the WrestleMania card, but it is a very interesting edit to make on the official poster, especially after so many advertisements for the event is already going around. So really just a bit odd for WWE to do this. And Charlotte Flair is not the only one being removed from things right now, because Batista is not currently slated for the WWE Hall of Fame appearance during this year's WrestleMania week. This year Hall of Fame, as we know, will be a Peacock special, and it will be pre-recorded and edited together. And now new reports from Ringside News indicate how Batista is no longer set to appear at this year's Hall of Fame, even though he was part of last year's class. And as WWE indicated before, last year's class, the class of 2020, is set to be part of this year's ceremony. So it looks like now they're making some extra changes with all of this. WWE have yet to confirm any of those names publicly that were supposed to get inducted in 2020. The only mention that they have given us this year is Molly Holly and Eric Bischoff to go into the 2021 class. So there is a lot of unknown right now on what is WWE doing. But as of right now, Batista is not scheduled to be part of this year's WrestleMania weekend, even though he was said to be the headliner for last year. Maybe there are some issues that we don't know, and maybe all Triple H's have to do is make a phone call. What I think WWE is doing right now is that they don't want to waste a Batista Hall of Fame induction until they get arena into full capacity and it is some live show, and they can actually give us a bigger show. So I can see them just saving Batista for next year or even the year after. Come to think about it, him getting inducted at WrestleMania when it's happening on Hollywood might be a good idea. Talking about WrestleMania, WWE ended up announcing that this year's WrestleMania is going to be hosted by Hulk Hogan and Titus O'Neil. All I'm gonna say is I'm excited to see Titus O'Neil return, and honestly I'm not surprised that WWE is getting a lot of backlash for this, because they're really forcing a narrative right now. Onto some other quick news. Chelsea Green made her return to Smackdown this week, not necessarily to television, but she was backstage, making a return after she was injured a couple of months ago during her actual debut match. We don't know when she will return to television, but I'm really hoping that this time things turn out to be better. Up next, we're talking about Smackdown, which gave us a lot of confirmation for WWE Fastlane. To start off the night, we got Sasha Banks defeating Nia Jax in a SmackDown Women's Championship match. During it, we had some interaction between Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, which ultimately led into Shayna Baszler setting up to kick Sasha Banks, but instead she accidentally kicked her own partner, allowing Sasha Banks to pick up the victory and retain the SmackDown Women's title. We get Seth Rollins coming out, but you guys know how it is. He doesn't wrestle on Fridays. That is his brand new gimmick after returning to SmackDown. Easy money for Seth Rollins. Nonetheless, he comes out, he cuts cuts a promo, literally making fun of Cesaro, and much like he did over on Twitter, even goes on and reference Vince McMahon, indicating that Vince was right, Cesaro doesn't have it, and that he will never be able to grab that brass ring. All of this led to Shinsuke Nakamura confronting Seth Rollins and getting the best out of him. Shinsuke, of course, getting involved in all of this to defend Cesaro, who was taken out by Seth Rollins last week. Then they announced Shinsuke versus Seth Rollins for the Fastlane pay-per-view, which should be an awesome match. And I'm glad that Shinsuke is also getting some time right next to Cesaro going at it against Seth Rollins. We then get a Rey Mysterio and Dominic defeating the Street Profit, which was a victory that honestly didn't even matter because afterwards they had another match against Otis and Chad Gable and they got defeated. This is all a bit of a backward situation here. There's almost no point to have Rey Mysterio and Dominic literally defeat the former WWE Tag Team Champions, and then right after they just get defeated by Otis and Chad Gable. You're not really giving them a victory. The one positive about this though is that at least they putting a heavy focus on the tag team division, and it's a good thing that they got all of these guys involved against each other because it does put an importance to those titles. Now we don't got the same tag team just going for those titles. We actually got a couple of them. We got a promo with Daniel Bryan, and he ended up coming face to face with Roman Reigns to build up their upcoming match at Fastlane. In this, Daniel Bryan ended up promising Roman Reigns that he is going to make him tap out no matter what. We get King Corbin defeating Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens is by the announce team because Sami wanted to show him all of the conspiracy that was happening. So King Corbin wins. Sami Zayn is not happy about it. He makes it into this whole conspiracy once again. He tried to explain it to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is like, listen, I saw it. You got defeated. That's all it happened. Referee was making the right call. Sami starts walking away, but he's not happy. Comes back and just kick Kevin Owens right in the back of the head. And if this is leading to Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania, I am all down. We get Big E and Apollo Crews doing a sit-down interview, which all lead to them just brawling it out in the backstage. Ultimately, Apollo Crews are running away from Big E. They're gonna go at it at Fastlane, and I'm hoping that WWE makes this like a Falls Count Anywhere type of match or a street fight, because especially after that segment, it will make sense. We get Bianca Belair versus Shayna Baszler ending in a no contest due to the interference of Natalya and Tamina. And then for the main event, we had a really good wrestling match, Edge defeating Jey Uso to become the special enforcer for the Fastlane Universal Championship match. After this match was done, we had Roman Reigns coming out of nowhere, delivering a spear to Edge. Daniel Bryan, who was by the announce table, tried to make the save for it, tried to attack Daniel Bryan, but Jey Uso came from behind and attacked him. So in the end, Roman Reigns got the last laugh, laying out Daniel Bryan and Edge right before the big matchup this Sunday, which as always, we will be doing a watch along for the pay-per-view. So make sure that you guys tune in and drop us a big follow. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. That is all the latest WWE news, WWE rumors, and what went down on Smackdown. I'll catch you on the next one, so stay savage.